I love the transitions here because we talk about Laramie Tunsil possibly getting Jane Daniels killed, and that's all the Dolphins do with their quarterback at Tua Tagovailoa. So you talk about a quarterback getting killed. That's been the story of the Dolphins, and everybody has been counting the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel out this past just this entire offseason. I will be a believer in Mike McDaniel to the end, just based on the ingenuity that he's able to implement with his offense. If they get the right defensive coordinator in there, it might not be Vic Fangio. But early on in the season, it's not getting cold yet. This game's getting played indoors. Dolphins in Indianapolis to face the Colts, who I'll just say it right now, and it can factor in as our AFC South predictions. I got the Colts last in the AFC South, and I got them heavily contending for the number 1 overall pick in the next draft. I am not a believer in this Colts team, especially not with Daniel Jones at quarterback. I think that Shane Steichen is a very good offensive coordinator, but he's not the head coach or at least he's not getting the opportunity to be a great head coach just based on what he's been given throughout his time. The Colts he very well could be. But, yeah, I'm going to go with the team that has, in my opinion, the better coach and the better quarterback in this game, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think there's still, while Tyreek Hill is still a major question mark this year, they have Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane. So I think there's still – what'd you say?
I said roll tide to Jalen Waddle.
Oh, fair. You're stepping on my toes. I thought you had something to say about my fantasy pick of Devon Achane. I'm very not insecure about it, as you can tell. But the Colts are a team relying on a lot of young players. They've got pieces around Daniel Jones, but I don't think he's going to be able to put it all together. I think that the potential for the Dolphins defense with a guy like Jalen Phillips is they're being underrated overall as a team this year. I think the Dolphins are going to be better than people expect, and I think the Colts are going to be worse. I think you're going to see that in this first game. Like I said, better head coach, better quarterback. Give me the Dolphins and a sheepish roll tide after how Bama performed this past weekend. But it had nothing to do with Tua. But I think that the tide's going to roll with Tua this weekend in Indianapolis. I think the Dolphins are going to get off to a good start. So my Dolphins winning this game is my pick. What do you think, Turtle?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely down on the Dolphins this year. I mean, I'm definitely contrarian to what you just said. But for this game specifically, I agreed with a lot of what you said because I'm also very much down in Indianapolis this year. Look, they've got some pieces on offense that I really like. I like Jonathan Taylor. That offensive line is still pretty solid. I really like Tyler Warren. I think he's going to give a lot of underneath. I think he's going to get peppered with targets on this football team. And, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, I really like Josh Downs. Like, there's some good pieces there. But, again, you mentioned it, Pat, quarterback. Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, it just doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. And this defense has quietly been a solid unit for the last couple of years. They're just too banged up in the secondary, I think, especially like in week 1 against – that's Mike McDaniel's specialty is pass game. And for right now, for this specific week, I think the Dolphins are going to be able to exploit that. You've got a healthy Tyreek Hill again. I know he had a wrist injury last year that I think hampered him. You still have Jalen Waddle. I think all signs really point to the Dolphins getting a win here. Now, that's not to say that I think that this team, as the season goes on, could find itself in a very precarious spot. I think that's bound to happen. I still don't love their defense, but I don't think the Colts are going to be able to exploit that this week in week 1. So I lean Miami with you. I'm going to pick Miami, but it's – again, I will say that I still think the Dolphins have a real chance to finish last in their division in the AFC East. I believe that. It's going to be between them and the Jets. I think the Pats are going to be much improved this year. But for this week specifically, they just happen to be matched up against someone who's slightly more hot dog water than they are. So.
And the Dolphins did just pick up Rasul Douglas, which I think means Jack Jones really is not, or I believe, yeah, Jack Jones. Kind of indicative of the training camp that he had. No, I mean, I think there's too many questions for that Colts defense on all three levels. for their defense. I mean, I think you're also talking about the GM and the coach that might be on one of the hottest seats in the NFL. Probably the GM, honestly, I'd say more than the coach for this. I mean, staking everything, on picking Anthony Richardson, where he did, and now here we are starting Daniel Jones in there. Now, I mean, there's questions for the Indianapolis Colts, and I think this is a team that has gone through with the Miami Dolphins, that has gone through the whole, turmoil of the offseason with Tyreek Hill. There's questions for the offensive line. Are they going to be able to protect Tua? Is Tua going to be able to make it the full season? I think there is a little, just in this matchup alone, there is a little too much firepower, I feel, on the offensive side of the ball for Miami. I like them at -3, even playing away in this game. But, I mean, it's going to be in a dome. They're going to be ready to go. Give me the Dolphins in this one. And, what I will say, though, is, I mean, I think if you want to take any kind of lines for the Colts, it's definitely hammering Jonathan Taylor, because I think one of the things that's going to be to their advantage is the ability to keep the ball out of Daniel Jones's hands as much as they can. I like Josh Downs, I like Michael Pittman, but it remains to be seen kind of what Daniel Jones will become. He's a mobile quarterback, but no, I like Miami in this one. -3, not going to touch the total, but
Mike, just so you know, the line right now is Miami +1.5. So if you like them at -3, you probably love them at
+1.5. What book are you looking at?
I'm looking at ESPN Bet right now. You got to be misreading something. No, just wanted to.
Oh yeah, it's a pick 'em now. Hammer the -3. Then you're getting. I'm giving you value.
Go
giving you value.
I just want to let you know, if you liked him at -3, you're gonna love him. You're gonna love what the market says right now.
So I'm gonna wait until I see the status of Austin Jackson, because I think if Austin Jackson cannot play right tackle, and it's got to be Larry Borom.
Larry Borom.
Very
shivers down my spine as a Bears fan.
And
that could be a determining factor.
Really concerned about his well-being if Larry Borom is out there. I do want to shout out
Larry Borom.
No. but I do want to shout out Miami's, I think, front five. I really like that defensive front five for them this year. Seiler, they got Chop Robinson, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and then Kenneth Grant. Extremely excited about Kenneth Grant with that group. But the secondary it seems like they're just beating up, hiring people off the street in Rasul Douglas. They have no returning starters from a year before. So I think that's going to be a concern. We'll see if Daniel Jones can take advantage. He does have the personnel to take advantage of that. If he can get the ball to his guys, I'm going to take the Colts. Why not? I'm going to assume Austin Jackson was limited in practice today, Wednesday. I'm going to assume he's not going to be 100%, and that does not bode well for Tua and that offensive line.
And to your point as well, Christian, you got an ascending pair of edge rushers in Tuio Malau and Latu in Indianapolis that there's a lot to like as well. So if one of them is matched up,
rotational guy as well.
Kwity Paye too.
Kwity Paye. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter who's going to line up.
The Colts had a good offseason defensively too in the secondary, especially. I think one of the better secondaries.
They got Sneed, right? Or Charvarius Ward. Sorry, they got
Charvarius Ward, Cam Bynum, and sneaky Xavier Howard.
All right.
They did. I was about to. Howard, yeah.
I was about
they
to.
They need help at corner.
Yeah.
I was about to dog on you for hinging your bet on one position and whether that one guy was going to be healthy. But they can. The Colts can have, a terrible defensive offseason. If you got Larry Borom starting against you, that could honestly just win you the game right there if he's going to have to start for the Dolphins because he is that bad as an offensive tackle. And it sounds like we're dogging on the guy, but being a Bears fan for the 3 years that he was here was, anytime he played, it was red alert danger for the quarterback. So that could be that's actually a pretty important injury designation, whether Austin Jackson is going to play on Sunday compared to it's a team sport, but if you got Larry Borom on your team, could be an ugly result.
He will need help. He will need help.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's going to be
how much for that Devon A-Chain breakout year. It's going to
He'll have a soft tissue injury by week 5. This will be Allie Gordon's backfield by week 8.
No, we're going to run to the left side.
I feel like I've been a real negative guy on the pod so far. I need to get to some teams that I can gas up. Every single team be like, it's over by week 8. Over by week 8.
Turtle, yeah,